Hello guys and welcome back to my channel, and today I will be doing a review for Mario RPG. I know I'm a little bit late. I know that the game just came out a couple of months ago, but just wanted to do a little bit of review based on SwitchUp. And so let's get into it. I'm super excited to do this review because I actually really did like this game. So let's see. Like and subscribe this video on YouTube, man. Let's go.
Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars first released for the Super Nintendo back in 1996.
Yeah, I've never played the 1996 version.
It was developed by Square and was the
But look at these graphics, holy crap.
final Mario game to release for the Super Nintendo, as well as being the first Mario RPG. It received critical acclaim upon release.
Such a huge difference, man, from 1993 till now.
Although it didn't release in all regions, with Europe missing out, as seemed to be the case with a number of RPGs at that time, and whilst it has appeared on virtual console stores as well as the Super Nintendo Mini since, this remake for the Switch potentially opens up the game to a wider audience for the first time since its original release. Does it still hold up to this day? Well, let's find out. In terms of the story, things start out in a very traditional way, with Mario attempting to rescue Princess Peach from his arch nemesis Bowser. However, things take a strange turn mid-battle when a large sword protrudes through Bowser's castle and sees the introduction of a new foe in the Smithy Gang. The consequences of this are felt throughout the Mushroom Kingdom and see Mario having to team up with new friends and enemies alike in order to take them down and retrieve the 7 star pieces to finally put an end to their reign of terror. Everything is told with tongue firmly planted in cheek, and there's a lot of humour to the game that translates very well and definitely elevates the story. So in terms of gameplay, Super Mario RPG plays very similarly to classic JRPGs of the 90s. You start off with just Mario, but will find other characters along the way that will join your team, and whilst you'll have a team of 5 by the game's end, you can only ever have 3 characters on screen at any one time when battling. There is a main overworld map that you'll travel across, with a red flag showing you your next destination, and entering any of these sections will then see the game play out in an isometric viewpoint.
I think that the map system was like really easy and stuff. I remember there was just one world where I kind of got stuck because I didn't know where to go. I kept going up and down, and then I didn't realize that there was a flag open already. Mario
can move quite freely on these sections, navigating each screen to move on to the next. You'll find towns and houses that you can enter, speaking to the non-playable characters, and there are also item blocks that you can hit to gain items that you can use in battle, and these will be saved in your items section. Battles play out in a turn-based manner, and you can see your enemies on the screen, meaning you can avoid random battles, and I commend the game
which is awesome
for making this very easy to.
Yeah, because there were some times where it's like I didn't want to defeat any enemies, and it's just like sometimes you can't avoid it. Sometimes they just jump on you and you just can't avoid it. But majority of the time you can avoid these boss, not boss fights, I'm sorry, these battles. But again, it's actually pretty useful if you actually do defeat everybody, because that's how you level up. That's how you farm. So
but once into a battle, you will be faced with a number of options. Each of your characters will have a go, and you can choose to attack in a physical manner, or you can use your special moves which are more magic based. Each character has their own health bar, but you do share FP, basically your magic points, and this is all displayed at the bottom of the screen. Once you have accumulated a few different characters, you can swap these out mid-battle, which is nice, especially if one of your characters faints, and the game also makes use of an active command system, meaning that if you time your attacks correctly, you will do extra damage, something that has since continued in the Mario RPGs of later years, the Mario and Luigi series for example, and you can also reduce the amount of damage you take again by using the A button to block at the right time. New for this remake.
Yeah, again, in this game, it's all about timing. Like the way that you block is very useful in this game.
Though is the fact that if you get this timing right, you can also deal additional, almost splash damage if you like, to any enemies standing around your target. Each of your characters will have some sort of buff that they bring to the fight, and these buffs almost stack as you do a combination of damage over the course of your turns. This also fills up a gauge shown in the bottom left hand corner of the screen, and when this hits 100%, you can deal a team attack once you have at least 3 characters. Now this attack will change depending on which 3 characters you have in your team, and experimenting with these combinations is a lot of fun.
Yeah, these super moves were pretty fun to do. But they don't just have one. They have like multiple different, like Mario has different moves with like Peach and like and the other characters and stuff, and then Mario has this move with both of them here. So there's different superpowers that, I mean, different super moves that they have.
Your characters will level up with the experience they gain in winning battles, and as well as the mandatory stat boosts you get through this, you can also choose to have an extra boost attributed to that character in either HP, physical attack damage or magic attack damage during the level up sequence. There are also items that you can find or buy in the shops located around the Mushroom Kingdom, and again you can equip these to each character, and as well as giving you extra stats, what they also do is change your timing in terms of when you attack the enemy. Now of course, because there is that active command system, this means having to reacclimatise to exactly when to press the button, and I actually felt this was a very good idea as it stopped that button pressing from becoming quite stale. It's a system that we've seen many times since, of course, the game originated from 1996, don't forget, but it's a system that's very robust and its mechanics hold up very well to this day. The fact that you do navigate through the world almost like a platformer at times, certainly in some areas, definitely gives it a different feel to some other RPGs of the time or of modern day, and this is assisted very well by the fact that the controls are incredibly tight. You can use either the left stick or the D-pad to control Mario whilst navigating through each area, and both feel as good as each other. Navigating menus is also very easy to do, everything is labelled very clearly, and it's quite a simple interface which I think works very well for just getting what you need done as quick as possible and getting you back into the action.
Yeah, I like the fact that, I mean, with different characters you can like add accessories to them to kind of boost up their attack and defense, so that's pretty cool.
This also applies to battling, and whilst it does take some getting used to get the timing right.
And not even accessories, like you can upgrade like their weapons too.
For those,
you just gotta go to the shops in the town.
Action prompts, learning exactly when to press the button for each type of attack, per character, per weapon type, again
all about timing in this game, all about timing.
And just adds to the gameplay as far as I'm concerned. Gameplay is simple by today's standards, but it's testament to the gameplay of the original game back in '96 that it holds up so well today, and it gets 17 out of 20. Controls also work very well and definitely assist the player in what you need to do. They get 18 out of 20.
Oh, these are the scores they're giving.
Now in terms of the visuals, this is where one of the biggest changes has taken place in terms of the original game to this remake, in that whilst the game is still displayed in an isometric view, this time we have full 3D character models as opposed to the rendered faux 3D that we had back then. The character models look great, and some of these characters hadn't been seen since, despite calls from fans to have them included in some sort of way, perhaps in Super Smash Bros. For example, or as a playable character in something like Mario Kart, Mario Tennis, but it had never happened. It's nice seeing them back in the limelight in this remake. There's a lot of variety within each section that you'll visit, despite the fact it is all taking place in one place, the Mushroom Kingdom. There are some great cutscenes that take place at times, especially when you meet a new character, and these really do add a lot to the game. Some of them look absolutely lovely, and they're integrated quite seamlessly into the action, providing some nice storytelling moments without...
Yeah, like this character right here, Gino, like I've never heard of this character before. He was probably in the last game, but I've never heard of him.
Breaking things up too much. Now, I mentioned the humour in the story section, something that has definitely been taken forward in Mario RPGs since this game, and it's worth mentioning again here in the visual section because a lot of it is physical comedy. Mario, being a silent protagonist, will almost play out what's happened whilst other characters tell the tale every time you reach another character that needs an explanation, leading to some slapstick moments. It's nothing side-splitting, don't get me wrong, but it definitely adds some charm to the game. Now, in terms of performance, Super Mario RPG runs at 60 frames per second, and it does look lovely in motion, I must say, very nice and smooth. However, there were some times where you could see some noticeable drops. The main affected areas that I noticed were sometimes when entering a town, entering water in the sewers, and also sometimes when going up and down stairs. It never lasts for very long, but it definitely is there. In terms of the audio, you have a newly revised score by Yoko Shimomura, the creator of the music for the original game, but you can switch to the Super Nintendo music should you wish in the options menu. Now, I never played the game originally, as I mentioned, it didn't release in Europe, and the new score is the default here, so that's the one I heard first, and it is beautiful, I must say.
Awaken to a world of wonder in Final Fantasy XIV Online.
Has that classic Nintendo feeling to it, with many of the traditional Mario tunes making some sort of an appearance, sometimes as part of the fully fledged score, but other times almost as little jingles that you'll hear for whatever reason. But then when you switch to the original music and just having a bit of a listen to that really does show just what a wonderful job was done initially almost 30 years ago. It seems to be something that Nintendo seldom get wrong, they always seem to nail the musical score, and this game is certainly no exception. Visuals look bright and colourful, and this is a lovely update to what was already a very nice looking game from back.
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of saw a little bit of the game from like years ago, and that was like looked horrible compared to now. I think that all Mario games are always like so colorful.
Back in the day, some minor performance drops do taint things slightly, but they get 17 out of 20. Audio is top notch, as is always the case with Nintendo games. Once again, I just cannot fault it, and having the Super Nintendo music in here too just seals the deal. It gets the full 20 out of 20.
Oh, at least they scored 20 out of 20 there.
Super Mario RPG costs £49.99 and regional equivalents are on
Basically
your screen
50.
now. For this price, you are getting an adventure that will take most people between, say, 12 to 15 hours to complete, and there is some post-game content too. Now obviously this is not as long as other games in the field, so it really does come down to how long you want your RPGs to be. Do you need 90 plus hours to feel you've got your money's worth, or are you happy to have something a bit more concise and enjoy it for what it is while it lasts? This will obviously range from person to person, and perhaps it would have been nice to see a few new innovations included in this remake, as the original game, by today's standards at least, is a little simple, but what cannot be denied is those high production values, which are absolutely fantastic. On balance, value gets 15 out of 20.
Oh, the price.
To conclude,
I get it.
Super Mario RPG Legend.
I get it. They're like, you really want to pay $50 for this game? Like, come on. I think it was worth it. I don't know. I think it was worth it.
Of the 7 stars.
Again, if you don't like a game, right, you can always, like, if you're gonna return, like, let's say you're gonna beat it in one day, or like you don't like it for the first like 15, 20 minutes or to an hour, you can always return the game and get your money back.
Almost became a myth in some regions owing to the fact you'd see beautiful screenshots in magazines of the time, but it never released where you lived. Trust me, I remember doing exactly that. Whilst it has seen a few releases on virtual consoles over the years, as I mentioned, to have the game here now in remade form is an absolute treat, and it's a great game to play. Perhaps it loses some of its luster because many of the mechanics have been seen since, even in other Mario RPGs, and even for the time, a lot of what it did obviously was seen in other games, as Square had used such mechanics in its Final Fantasy series, but it's still a fantastic game to play and a nice and concise adventure if you don't want to plough 50 plus hours into an RPG. It could perhaps be a bit too simple for some, but what's here is very well refined and beautifully crafted, and it's definitely an adventure.
Yeah, these graphics were amazing in this game. I mean, this game back in the day looked like pieces of paper and pixelated and all that other stuff, but like just the whole remake, it gives it a breath of fresh air to this game. So the graphics were amazing on here, especially on the Switch.
Worth playing again, or perhaps for the first time.
So this is the scores that they gave it: the 17, 18, 17 audio, and value 15. That's like the lowest score they gave it was the value, which I get it because it's like $50 for this, like, but to each his own. You know, you're the one that's spending the money and buying the game and stuff. You can always get your money back. I'm just saying.
Super Mario RPG gets a SwitchUp score of 87%.
Okay, yeah, I kind of agree with this this score as well. It's a pretty good game. It's really fun. Fighting mechanics are pretty good. I mean, it's a role-playing game. I mean, that's what you're gonna get. It's a role-playing game. Colors were beautiful in this game, honestly.
Thank you everybody for watching this review.
And so once again, I mean, like when I played it for the first time and I never played the old one, I had really fun playing it. I love the different worlds that we encountered. The fighting mechanics were pretty good. And overall, I like the game. You know, hopefully they do come out with like Mario RPG 2 or something. I'm not really too sure. Or unless this is just the only RPG that we're gonna get. I mean, I'm fine with that. So guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this game. If you guys did buy the game, what did you guys think of it? To those who haven't played the game, are you going to pick up this game? Let me know in the comments what you guys think so far. Definitely go check out my YouTube channel for other reviews and gameplay playthroughs that I have done for Nintendo games as well as PS5 games. And guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Let's go.